There's a couple of currency trades that I like right now, or let me say they're on my radar screen. And they got on my radar screen from talking to a couple of subscribers to my MMT Trader report. And I guess this brings me back a little bit, and I'm not going to harp on this, but getting back to that whole discussion of why do I sell this stuff if I'm such a great experienced trader, right? Um, you know, it brings a lot to me. And I'm not talking about, the little fee that I charge for it. I mean, talking to people who are students in my courses or maybe who subscribe to the letter. I mean, they're smart people. They have really great ideas. The conversations are deep, they're very reflective, and they're mind opening, And yesterday I had a conversation with a guy who subscribes to MMT Trader. This morning I had an email discussion with somebody who subscribes to MMT Trader, and two trades kind of popped into my head as a result of that. One actually I was thinking about beforehand. It has to do with the British pound and Brexit. Brexit, that vote on whether or not Britain is going to leave the EU, that's coming up. That's coming up in June, and there's all this worry and concern about this. And, people are just starting to almost panic. What happens if that happens? What happens to the British pound? What happens to the British economy? All right. So I have some thoughts on that. And the other thing is an Aussie dollar trade, which, by the way, again, brought to my attention by a subscriber this morning, that the Aussies just entered into a mega military equipment deal with France. Okay, it has to do with building submarines. It's a $50 billion deal, which will have an impact on Euro Aussie, that pair. Okay, and then behind all of this is just kind of the general fundamentals behind the dollar. That is, we are in the rate hike. We're in a rate hike trend by the rate setter, the central bank, the Fed. The dollar's the global reserve currency. It is the most owned currency. So whatever the Fed does, that has a major, major impact on nearly all currency pairs just by virtue of the fact that the dollar is so owned. Okay? So you have that, that trend going on. You have the Brexit thing, and you have this this Aussie deal now with France, or you could say with Europe and the euro. So some interesting things here. Again, I'm going to be putting this in the MMT Trader report. You could find out what I'm talking about because I'm going to put it in this weekend. So if you haven't already signed up for your 30-day free trial, what are you waiting for? You know how to do it. You go to www.pitbulleconomics.com and you click on the tab that says products. 30 days free. You can just get it this weekend and see what I'm talking about, and then you could cancel, right? But maybe you won't cancel because it's good. It's really good. Bye.